Hi, I'm Taylor Smurl,
And I'm Tommy Smurl.
and this is
Neat.
Excited, Dad? Are you excited for some coffee?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for some coffee and alcohol together and just see just what it does to me.
Well, if you listen to the podcast related to this video, you would know maybe not something good, but we're going to do it anyway, because that's what we're here for. So, last week on the podcast, we talked all about the Espresso Martini and some of the various and sundry coffee booze combos out there new on the market. There's a whole bevy of options around this day and age.
Yeah. The first one I saw was when somebody told me, said Pabst Blue Ribbon has a coffee out. I'm like, what?
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah. Yeah. And Mom brought one home one day, and tell you the truth, it wasn't bad.
Well, I thought before we get started with, of course, we're going to make an espresso martini today. Before we get into that, we could try some of these because, when I first saw this, I was just like, I only associate PBR with, cheap beer. Not necessarily bad, but cheap. So this just blew my mind. But I am curious to see what this actually tastes like. I also got one of the Cafe Agave spiked cold brew. This is a salted caramel one.
Oh, I always associated PBR with the Doobie Brothers.
I don't know that association.
Well, it keeps you running. I guess you had to be there.
Is there a joke here that I'm missing?
That was a Doobie Brothers song. It keeps you running.
Does it relate to PBR?
It relates to PBR, the morning after effects.
Oh, okay. That's gross. I have never heard that. Well, you learn something new every day. Okay.
There's a long pause.
Weird reference. Someone appreciated that though, so.
That's what I always called it after having it one night. We smuggled a keg of it up to our 14th floor dorm room when I was a freshman in college because you weren't allowed to have beer in the dorms. And we smuggled a keg up there and drank the thing down, but it was PBR. And the next morning, the bathrooms were well occupied all morning long.
I've had a lot of PBR in my life. I mean, unless you're saying like you have to pee a lot.
No, I wasn't meaning that.
You have a very unique reaction to PBR then. I consumed. I lived in Williamsburg in the early 2000s. I have consumed a lot of PBR, and I don't remember that effect, but I don't know.
Well, I tried to avoid it after that.
Well, you'd think if something was going to have that effect, it would be the coffee. So hopefully not. But what did you bring to the table, Dad?
Well, I brought, since I'm sponsored by Guinness, I have my Guinness bar and I have my Guinness.
Sponsored by Guinness.
Makes you strong. Guinness has got to catch on to this eventually. I'm trying to get their attention so they'll pay me to do all this because I'm doing it for free right now.
You're trying.
But I came across this and I thought it was a Guinness coffee stout. You know how they do the different craft beers and you get coffee stouts, and I thought it was a coffee stout. Well, I was bringing them home to drink to relax. In the evening, it's coffee stout. And then I got to read it. It's nitro cold brew coffee. So but it's 4% alcohol.
Well, you're drinking coffee, not Guinness, right?
Right, but it's Guinness flavored coffee with alcohol. How do you know how to describe it? I mean, it looks like, there's a regular Guinness.
Yeah.
And they don't look, I just thought it was a fancier can. And a regular Guinness is 4.7 alcohol, and this is 4 point. So it's not too far off.
Does it have the widget in it?
It does.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, nitro cold brew coffee.
Well, let's try some of these little buddies.
Yeah, well, I just thought just to make sure. Well, I thought so too. I thought these were big, but it's a 12-ounce can. I guess the nitrogen takes up part of it. I always thought these were 16, but they're 12. Yeah. But I thought I should do a side-by-side on them too. So I guess I'll just have to drink both of them.
This is Dad's way of getting to drink a Guinness in this episode. I want to see you try to sneak a Guinness into every topic somehow.
Guinness works in all situations.
Now I am realizing that both of these things I bought definitely have some sort of milk in them, which is not a thing I consume. So I'm going to break my vegan edge. Just just for a few sips on these. Don't call the vegan police on me, please. Or do. I don't care. They know my house well.
Now this cold brew coffee does, it pours a lot like the beer does. So it's very similar. It's more of a brown color than the beer.
Well, that's the Guinness.
This is the Guinness. This is the cold brew.
Oh, wow. That's a lot ahead. Mine are not nearly as exciting looking. This is the PBR. This is the Cafe Agave. So definitely just look like coffee with a good amount of milk in them.
Yeah, well, that's what, but see, mine are dark.
Yeah, yours look like beer.
Yeah.
One of them are.
Yeah. I'm going to drink the coffee stout first. I keep track of it here.
So I just noticed the PBR is 5% alcohol by volume. The Cafe Agave Spiked Cold Brew is 12.5.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the thing that I noticed most when I took a sip of this was that the alcohol is way more present, a little overwhelming. So that definitely comes through. The PBR really does just taste like a frappuccino. It tastes like something you'd get at Starbucks. This one
does, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Like it's tasty. I can see why you would like this. You won't. I think you get sick drinking these before you get drunk, but this. This has a lot more flavor. Tastes like maybe something better you'd get at Starbucks, but also has a lot more of a heat to it from the liquor.
Well, yeah, 12%. Well, now this coffee, the Guinness coffee drink cold brew, it's very smooth, and naturally it's got a very heavy coffee finish after you drink it. It's only 4%. You don't taste the alcohol really at all.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're drinking a beer that's flavored like coffee, or like you're drinking coffee with like a beer texture to it?
I feel like I'm drinking a beer that's flavored by coffee. Now, I have had coffee stouts before where, yeah, you kind of detect the coffee, but it's a lot more forward, a lot more present in this than just like a coffee stout.
That's interesting, because I would assume, just looking, that you were just drinking a beer. Like, I've never seen a coffee, other than like, well, actually, no, because I forget that has that nitrogen in that, and when I get nitrogen coffee on draft, like that, it looks like that, so that's cool. I like that there's not like a cream or anything in there. I think I'd prefer that.
No, it's just coffee with, I don't know, it's coffee with Guinness flavorings in it or something, I guess. I don't know. And alcohol.
So there are just a few of the multitude of coffee things that are out there that you can buy and Guinness, because I don't know, we're just gonna have Dad review Guinness once a month. But of course, the star of the show tonight is going to be the Espresso Martini, which we're gonna make for you now.
All right, the star of the show.
So an Espresso Martini, the one sort of difficult thing about it is that you really kind of should have a fresh pulled espresso shot. We're shooting this in the evening, so I got a fresh pulled espresso shot from a coffee shop a few hours ago before they closed, and now it's not as fresh, but well, you know, you can use, if you can get fresh espresso, that's great. If you can get chilled espresso or even coffee concentrate in the pinch, there are workarounds, but ideally you want what Dad's showing off there.
Riley had an espresso maker, and she came over and set it up and showed me how to make it, so I just made this.
Yeah. Now see that little bit of tan on the top that looks like a beer head?
Yeah, it looks like another Guinness.
Yeah, a little baby Guinness. That is crema. That is like a suspension of the natural oils that occur in espresso with like the air that gets trapped. It's this little like frothy, bubbly, delicious velvetiness that you should always look for on a quality shot of espresso. That's a mark of a well-pulled shot. And that is essential in getting that frothy head on the Espresso Martini. So mine's set for a while. I don't think I'm going to get there, but you might get that, Dad.
All right. I'm going to give her a try.
All right. So for the Espresso Martini, the ingredients are pretty simple. It is vodka, some sort of coffee liqueur. I think we're both using Kahlua, simple syrup, and espresso. That's it. All right, so we're going to build this in a shaker tin because it's going to be shaken. I know usually you don't shake martinis, but this isn't really a martini. This is a dessert drink. So anyway.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yes. So we're going to start with 2 ounces of vodka.
I have this New Amsterdam
Nice.
because
Yeah.
we watched that show.
I don't know that show.
You don't know that show? It's a medical show. It's about 3 years old.
And then, as I've made them, I've just put a shot of espresso in there. I mean, I think if you want to get technical, you want about an ounce of espresso. A little more won't hurt you, but I'm going to go ahead and jigger mine because I asked for like 3 shots of espresso, so. Okay.
I don't know. Well, that wasn't enough. I'm going to put, but I've got a little bit more still in my cup. I got it. All right.
All right. And then for our 2 sweets, we're going to do 1/2 ounce each. So 1/2 ounce Kahlua, 1/2 ounce simple syrup. And these specs can vary, of course, by preference. If you like things a little bit more coffee, a little less boozy, a little bit more Kahlua, it's all fine.
I love Kahlua. That's one of my favorite things to drink.
Kalua's good.
You don't drink it. You don't just sit there and drink shots of Kahlua, but drinks with Kahlua.
All right. Now we're going to ice up our tin and shake it up. Now, if you want to garnish it, the traditional garnish for this is just a single coffee bean that you want to float on top of that crema, but I don't have a coffee bean, so we're gonna skip the bean garnish here. All right, cheers.
Cheers. I gotta be careful. These are these glasses I hate to use because they spill so easy.
Honestly, same.
Cheers.
I'm just staring at. Okay, I gotta sip this down.
That first sip tasted like another sip.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Wow, it's really tasting chocolatey, I guess, from the Kahlua.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, I like an espresso martini. I think it's definitely in the realm of dessert cocktails for me. Or, I mean, if you want like a very sweet eye opener, it's good for that. But yeah, it's definitely not a lot of coffee flavor. I think you could go stronger with the coffee. I don't think there's anything you can really hate on about this drink. It's pretty straightforward. It's tasty. It's sweet.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is I couldn't have really added anything more of anything because it filled the glass to the brim.
Yeah, it's a big drink. I mean,
yeah, a lot of them after we shake them and we pour them out, I'm like, where's the rest of it? It's only half full.
Well, this was a 4-ounce recipe, so with dilution, that's going to give you about 4.5 ounces. So
yeah. Well, I tell you what, that's pretty good. I didn't expect the chocolate. I expected to taste coffee. I did not expect to taste chocolate.
Yeah, it's very chocolatey. And that's why I think a lot of people, you see the espresso martini sometimes sort of very gilded on menus with coffee or chocolate liqueur or chocolate syrup swizzled in the glass, all that kind of goofy stuff. And that stuff takes it into a realm of if that's your thing, that's totally fine, but it's no longer for me. But I feel like this is something that I would actually order in very specific instances. Especially if I see an espresso machine behind the bar and I know that's a thing that they're offering on their menu, because I think it's just sweet enough, and it's great if you're kind of dragging and you want to pick me up because you're getting a whole shot of espresso in there.
Well, I see a lot of times when you're in some fancy restaurants, they have a dessert drink menu at the end for after, to have with your dessert. And I've never been much on getting those unless it was Irish coffee or something like that. And I would never think to order an espresso martini, but it would go real good with a piece of cheesecake or something like that at dessert. That'd be a real good drink to finish it off. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to sit there and drink 4 or 5 of these, I don't think. But, for a dessert drink, it's a very good drink.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely if you can't decide if you want coffee or a cocktail after dinner, it's both. It's got a decent amount of caffeine in it. And it's also definitely a delicious dessert drink. So, it's a good, and it's also simple. Some of those dessert menu cocktails or after dinner cocktails that have just so much syrup and random sweeteners,
whipped cream and everything. Yeah.
All that. I mean, once again, if that's your thing, no offense, but that's a little bit much for me. I like this because I know it's just Kahlua, simple vodka and coffee. Like it's a very straightforward, very clean drink.
Yeah, that's nice.
So now that we're in the year of the espresso martini, and definitely as we move into fall, I think if you see one on a menu, now's probably a good time to try it because it's very much an in thing. So I figure, you're probably gonna find some good ones out there.
So say cheers to the espresso martini.
Cheers. I'm really glad we decided to do the coffee episode at like 8:00 at night it's Thursday. It's almost the weekend.
Yeah. Now I've got this beer here, this Guinness I can finish off. So make sure you go out and buy plenty of Guinness and tell them Tommy sent you. And give a shout out to the Guinness folk. Just tweet them. Tell them Tommy sent you.
I think we just need to start a campaign. I don't know what we're exactly aiming for. I think I just want like Guinness to notice my dad. Like that's it. That's our goal. Not a sponsorship would be great. Maybe some merch, but really we just want Guinness to be like, we see you, Tommy Smurl. Thanks.
I've already got so much Guinness merch. I don't know. I've got our whole bar room fitted out with Guinness merch.
You basically you've got a Guinness themed bar in your house.
That's right. You got me my bar mat.
Yeah, you got a real bar mat now.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for joining us on this highly caffeinated video of Neat. Thank you, Dad, for being here.
Well, thank you. I think we both need to go out and run a few laps before we go to bed.
I just did, and I guess I should do more. Yeah, I'm gonna be very awake now. It's good. I've got some work to finish. There's a show that I'm watching. I'm just gonna see the morning. All right.
That's right. Watch the sun come up.
Yep. Thank you everybody for joining us. If you want to find us on social media, we are Neat Boozcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you would like to join our Patreon and support us, be one of our patrons, that is we are Neat the Boozcast on Patreon. And if you want to email us, you can email us at neattheboozcast@gmail.com. And if you want to discuss your favorite combination of coffee and alcohol
on Facebook,
go there.
Neat the Boozcast Facebook group page. We're right there.
Somewhere.
Yep.
Also, smash things below. Not in your house, like the buttons that make you come back here on a regular basis.
Subscribe.
There we go. That's what it is. So thanks again. Hey, I've been Taylor Smurl.
I've been Tommy Smurl.
And this has been
Neat.
The amount of coffee and sugar in this, I'm just realizing. Like, what a combo. Sugar, coffee, and alcohol. Just that's it in essence. There's no filler. Just all things that are going to mess you up.
What more could you ask for? That's a perfect drink.